Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space. How you all going? It's been a while since I did a video. Life in 2023 is just, oh my god, feels like I'm on a roller coaster and I want to get off. Finally sitting down and doing this. So, this is January 2023 Mission Inspiration. So if you hadn't heard of Mission Inspiration before, if you're a long time viewer, I did a few of these years ago. It's a Facebook group and I'll link it below. Basically, they come out with prompts every month, or I think it's twice a month. And for several years, they did like a list of prompts like you see on the right of the screen. And then they changed to like one-word prompts or colours. I didn't really like that. So this year, going back to their roots, and I thought I would play along. So these can be done in any order. So the first one there is glue-torn book text paper fragments. So that's what I've just done with matte medium. Now I haven't gessoed my page, and this particular book is a Montmark sketchbook and the paper is very thirsty, so it was soaking up that matte gel medium. I should have put a layer of clear gesso on, but I just didn't. Here comes some white gesso. So step 2, so you don't have to do these in order. I sort of did the fourth up to 4 in an order, and then I just went rogue, as they say. So you don't have to do them in order, but sometimes it is fun to follow something. It's more of a challenge. So add a thin layer of gesso or paint. So I did both, so just knocking back the book text, and sometimes matte gel medium has a bit of a shine to it. So adding some paint, and I do have those paints still on my desk, so I can tell you what colours it is. One is elephant, and I'm using a picture of an elephant. I thought that was hilariously funny. And the other one is sage, which is like a light green. An elephant is like a grey, obviously. So just smudging that around and wiping some of it back with a baby wipe. I didn't want my background to be too busy. I wanted the main focal point. You would have seen the elephant in the start of the video. So now I'm just adding some stamping. This is a really old stamp from Sassafras Designs. They're not even in that business anymore. Should I look on the packet and see how old it is? Oh, thank goodness it doesn't have a date. I'm not going to embarrass myself, but quite old. So just stamping some of that around. This is a Kaiser stamp, just with some dots and spots on it. Just using an archival ink just to add a bit of interest to the background. As I said, I wanted to keep the background quite plain. I wanted my focal image to stand out. I was flipping through. I've got a book that's all full of all sorts of black and white photos, and some of them aren't the best quality, but that's okay. This one's a bit fuzzy in the man's face and stuff, but I don't care. It's out of it's all pictures from newspapers and stuff, so they're not a real good quality either, but just quirky pictures of animals and things. I really like this guy holding onto this elephant's trunk, so I decided to use that. So now we've added a stamp to our page. We have got a single focal image. That was one of the prompts. I do apologise, I'm yawning a little. Seriously, every time I sit down to do a voiceover, and this has been happening for years and years, if you're a long time subby, I don't know, I cannot yawn all day, and I sit down and do a YouTube voiceover, and I just yawn. So sticking the picture down was a bit problematic. I should have used a bit more of I used a gel medium, and I don't think I was using enough of it, because it is a quite sort of thick and shiny paper. So I should have used my more sort of tacky glue, so I had to go back and add some more. And sticking over paint and acrylic medium and stuff, sometimes you need a bit stronger glue than you anticipate. But I got it there eventually. So just before that, I took my Dina Wakley wavy ruler, whatever it's called, journaling block, I don't know what it's called, and did a floor, because I didn't want my elephant to be standing in midair. But I deliberately wanted my man not to stand on the floor. I wanted him in midair. So it was a bit of tossing and turning of how to do that. And then I decided one of the other prompts was doodle around your page. That was the last quote. I was going in order, and then that all fell off the wagon. So I decided to jump around. Sometimes I do that. There's sort of no rules with Mission Inspiration. This is a guide. It's like a recipe. Yes, you can change it around. Yes, you can leave stuff out. Yes, you can substitute stuff if you don't have the right stuff. It's more of a prompt or a jumping off point if you don't know what you want to do. Often I'll sit down and stare at a blank page and go, now what? So this gives you a few ideas and prompts. And there's some words down the side like rhythm, grow, heart, spectrum, and triangle. You can incorporate those into your prompts, or you can ignore them like I did. So adding some black gesso to the border. I really like adding really detailed doodly borders. Doodling and zentangling on my page calms my brain down. I love it. Yes, it is time consuming, but it's something I can do. Usually I don't do a lot of it on camera because it takes so long. And for anyone that's new, I do have low vision, so I'm sorry my head will pop in and out of shot. When I'm doing close-up things, unfortunately my nose has to be quite close to my work, otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. I do need new glasses. I've got to get in and get new glasses, and I also need to get, I'm getting old, I need reading glasses as well as distance glasses now, so double the cost. Yay! Yeah, I must get back in and order my glasses. I just haven't got there. My credit card keeps saying no. I'm sure everyone in the world is experiencing everything going up, and wages aren't going up. So just drying that off. I love how I've got the border, because I like to have 3 levels on my pages. Sort of 3 fields of view or levels. So I've got the background, which is the paint and the paper. I've got the border, which is sort of the middle ground. And then because the elephant's standing on top of the border, and here's my big head, I apologise if I cover a lot of this up. So the elephant is brought forward because I pushed the border behind the elephant. So if I brought that border over the top of the elephant, he would be then in the middle ground, the border would be in the front. So you can play with sort of levels in your journal and bring things forward, push things back. That's fun as well. I tend to try to always have 3 levels in my pages. I don't know, it's a thing my brain likes, and it gives your page depth as well. So it's just not flat, so it does look dimensional. Clear as mud, right? Okay, so just doodling with, what am I doodling with? Paint pen. So Posca paint pens, and this particular one, you just saw I took some glad wrap off it. This one is from Right Art and Craft, and the first one I opened dried out, and I'm going, this is stupid pen, and I realised it's got holes in the cap. Really? Who designs a paint pen with holes in the cap? Obviously the paint dries out in the nib, and then you can't get it activated again. So the solution to that, stick a bit of glad wrap between the nib and the cap, shove the cap on, and it holds it there. So that will make it last a little bit longer. I do prefer Posca pens, but I'm also a person that loves trying out new stuff. And if things go on sale, and if there's a cheaper alternative to a $5 or $6 Posca pen, I will try it, even though sometimes I shouldn't, and it's probably not worth the $2 or $3 I pay, but it's fun, hey? Excuse to go shopping. So I've got a few of those in different colours that I need to add the glad wrap to, but hey, it works. Cheap fix. So just adding some dots. I really didn't know what sort of doodling I wanted to do around the page. And I also want to keep the bottom as a ground and the sides and the top as a different design, just to give it a bit more, I don't know, a bit more clarity, I suppose. That's not the right word. I don't know. It's early in the morning and I managed to get 10 minutes of silence. No one better turn their lawnmower on outside to do this voiceover. Every time I go to film a video or do a voiceover, some noise happens outside. Someone's revving the car, someone turns the lawnmower on, or I've got people in and out of the house, and it's like a zoo lately, seriously. So just adding some very simple circles and dots with I believe I'm using a gel pen now. I tend to swap between white pens. I have them in a lot of different thicknesses. That is my pencil case of open pens. I have a habit of losing the pen that I've actually got open and shoving it somewhere when I clean up my desk to use the desk for something else, or just lose it. And then I will just go grab another one. I have a stash of them. When I buy them in several pens so I don't run out. And if you leave a paint pen for too long, it can dry out. So I'm trying to put my paint pens always back in that pencil case. So I'm always using them consistently, and that seems to be working in the last few months. The pens don't seem to be drying out as much. And I can find my pens. I just got to put them back in the pencil case. So that's a tip for you. Have a dedicated place for your doodling pens and pencils, and then you won't lose them. So now this is... Make marks with your fingers was another prompt, and I was going to add something else but couldn't, so I decided the paint. That will go for the paint. What are we doing now? Add a quote, phrase, or title. So I decided to put help comes in unusual ways, and I do apologise for my not so great handwriting. My handwriting is atrocious. I seriously should have been a doctor with the atrociousness of my handwriting. But I am trying, and I will have a go in my art journal. So I sort of sketched it out to start with, and then sort of thicken up the lines. I see Neve Bailey on YouTube do that a lot. She sort of sketches out and then makes the lines thicker and sort of fills in the space. My writing is not as neat as hers, but I'm trying. And this one is a bit more acceptable than other writing I've had on my pages. So practice makes perfect, right? So adding a bit of white was going to be a drop shadow, and then I just stuck white in the middle of the letters. Yeah, that went a bit rogue as well, but hey, it makes it stand out. So nearly coming to the end of this page. It's very different to what I usually do, just drying off the paint pens so they don't smudge when I put my hand in the middle of something. I do have some still photos at the end to show you. Here I think I go in with the white. Yeah, I do. It's very hard to see a small screen when I'm doing a voiceover. So as I said, thank you very much for watching, and I'm hoping to be a bit more active on this channel, but life gets in the way a lot. Here's some close-ups of the page, although the elephant is a bit shiny and a bit hard to photograph. Thank you very much for bearing with me and watching. I will link the Facebook Mission Inspiration group below and type out the prompts for you. If you do want to give it a go, they do this every month, and I'm hoping to at least get every month's done in 2023. That's my goal. Let's see how we go.